Hello, welcome to Giggles and Gratitude. I'm Dina.
And I am Diana.
We're so glad you're here. And Diana, is there anything you want to share? We kind of like to start with what we've been up to. My week was pretty boring. Did you have any highlights that you're comfortable sharing?
My week has been amazing and almost kind of full of fireworks. I have to brag about my husband. He has been one of 8 individuals chosen throughout the country that have been invited to the White House to talk about housing and how we provide that for people that are in need here in the United States. And I'm just so very thankful that A, he has the knowledge, B, that he has the willingness of heart to give to something that he doesn't really receive a whole lot back for. He wants to make sure that housing is affordable for everybody and that the number of people that are obviously needed to have a home, that they have a home. And so I'm just, he's still gone to Washington right now. So I'm just supporting him from back home, doing all the wifey things that I would do. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a different week for us. How about
Wow.
you?
That is very exciting. And has he checked in with you to tell how it's going or?
Yes, and I'm actually trying to persuade him to stay through the parade on this. I
Oh,
mean, who would not want to be part of that parade, just the historic event? So I don't know if he's going to stay for that or not. So we'll to be continued.
oh, it's a shame you couldn't go, but I know you've got your responsibilities.
I do. I'm a working girl.
That's right.
We got to do things.
Well, my week was much less exciting. Number one, I don't have a husband. Number two, I kind of have I don't like the word pride or proud because, I think the Bible teaches us pride comes before a fall. But my little dog, have you ever seen my dog?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
Boogie.
yeah, Boogie. He's just like maybe the cutest dog in the world.
Oh yeah,
He's a
totally.
Shorty Shih Tzu. I'll say the cutest little dog in the world. He's not the most beautiful. He's not the most elegant. He's not the smartest, but the cutest small dog I know. Let's put it that way.
He is adorable.
So when I take him places, which I can't very often, but there's certain stores you can take dogs in. Anytime I think I'm going to take him with me, just so he can get out and about, I get so many compliments and attention, and people walk up and say, "Oh, it's the kid," and I take a little pride in it now.
Absolutely.
He does not have my DNA or my genetics. He is adopted. I can't really take credit for it, but I took him out. He needed to go to the vet for his yearly checkup, and I took him to the vet. And normally the girls there are like, "Oh, it's Boogie. Oh, Boogie, he's so cutest," and they pass him around. This time they didn't do that. And of course they were busy. So I took him back in the exam room, and the doctor walked in and she said, "Oh, Boogie, okay, you're a chunky little one, aren't you?" And that insulted me.
Right?
To call my dog Chunky. So I was a little taken aback. Now he is a little chunky because I love to give him treats. But so then,
You have the right to call that, not anybody else.
yeah, don't call my child Chunky. But then I thought, I'm going to take him somewhere else. I'm not satisfied. So I thought I need to get the oil changed in my car. And you can pull into those oil change places where you stay in the car.
Yes.
I'll pull in that garage and into that carport and they'll surround the car and they'll just be loving on him and he'll love it. He loves attention. So we pull in. Nobody pays attention to him. I roll down the window. The guy asks me questions and he looks over and he said, "Does your dog have a lazy eye?" What is happening?
You're what?
So he's
Right?
part, like I say, he's part Shih Tzu and part Yorkie. And so Shih Tzus kind of have a side eye, they're
Yeah.
Pekingese, part Pekingese. So Pekingese have the bulgy
Yeah.
side way up. He has one side of his face that's like that, and the other side's Yorkie. So it's just a normal looking eye. So I'm thinking, my dog is not as cute as I think it is. So that was like a low light in my week.
Goodness. Well, I think your dog is as cute as you think that he is.
Thank you. Thank you. And your dog is beautiful. Now, your dog is just gorgeous.
Well, she is a mess in and of herself. Yes, Miss Makita.
Now, we just had a drama off air with Makita. We were going to start recording like 2 hours ago.
Right?
And what did Miss
Actually,
Makita do?
well, Makita was helping to try to find Cujo Baby. And Cujo Baby is our cat that never gets out. And all of a sudden he was out. And I was having a fit.
Mm.
And Dan's in Washington, and I'm here searching the grounds for the cat. So we did survive the trauma. We found the cat. All is well.
I mean,
And
cats will not come out when you call them. I mean, it's just the worst.
well, obviously you are correct.
Pet sitters, it's a pet sitter. I went through that. When it's somebody else's pet, you're really upset. And I was looking for a cat one time, an orange cat, by the way, like yours. And I looked everywhere in this house for the cat, and the cat's kind of scared of me because it doesn't know me yet. And then
Right.
I looked, and I saw a little tail sticking out from under the bed, and it was just okay. I'll just leave you alone. I know where you are. I'm like, I wonder where that kitty is. But
Well, there was no kitty when I checked under the bed. Let me just tell you. Mommy was not happy a
yeah, I think
couple
they
of
move.
hours.
Yeah, you call them, they won't come out, and then you move. They move when you go to the next room. They'll go back to that. They think they're pretty smart. They think you've already checked that hiding place, so I'll go back to that hiding place.
Yes, they
Uh,
are. They are so smart. But you gotta love them. As soon as, I mean, you're frantic because you can't find them. And oh my goodness, your heart's broke. And then when you see them, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get you.
yeah, I'm going to kill you. That's the way parents feel about their kids. You know, my mom
Yes.
used to say that. I've been so worried about you. I'm going to kill you. Oh, weren't you
Yeah,
worried that I was
I
killed?
guess I guess that shows true love. Who
It
knows?
does. It does. All's well that ends well. And then also this week, we talk about giggles, and most of the time, because it's just me and my mom usually, I'm not around a lot of people, so my giggles usually come from my own stupidity, laughing at myself, which
Or
happens.
me.
I wasn't going to say that, but so
I did.
I go to the bank once a week and make a deposit. And I see this, I go about the same time every week. So I see the same teller, a very nice lady. She's got really pretty platinum blonde hair that's real silky, curls under at her shoulders. And I always think she's got really pretty, thick, healthy hair. So she's very sweet. And we talked a little bit. So then one time I drove up one week and she had her hair all curly, like corkscrew curls. And I thought, "Ooh, that's a different look." And I said, "I like your hair that way. That looks really good." And she said, "Oh," and she kind of looked confused and touched it and said, "Well, thank you." I said, "Is it naturally curly or did you do?" She said, "No, my hair's curly. I don't even bother to try to straighten it." Huh? So I said, "Okay." So the next time I came back, I said, "Oh, I see you're sticking with the curly hair. It really looks good." And she looks at me like I'm insane. The next time I go back, she's there. I'm talking to her, and the straight haired blonde lady walks up. So it's two different people that I thought was the same person that I've been talking to for weeks. And I'm thinking, and I know I did a double take when she walked up. She said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I thought, oh my gosh, they're two different people.
Oh, that's your oh my gosh moment, Dina.
Yes. And just embarrassment. And then trying to relive at night when I'm laying in bed. What did I say to her that she's going to think, this girl's insane? What does she mean? I talked about conversations we had had. When I saw them together, I could tell they were different people, but they look a lot alike. So I'm trying to decide, do I explain it or do I just kind of let it go and move on with
Just,
my life?
just move on.
But
It's all good.
yeah. Do you have a hard time recognizing people out of their environment? Like, say you go to the post office and you see a person and then you see them out in Walmart and they're like, hey, and you're like, why do I know? Hey,
I know that I know you, but I don't know you.
yeah, I don't know you without a counter. Like, I don't know you from the bottom down. I know you from the bottom up.
Well, I have to tell you this funny story.
Okay.
I obviously work at the hospital, so naturally in scrubs, I'm used to seeing my fellow people in scrubs. And one morning I went to the grocery store and coming out, I saw one of my fellow coworkers who was not dressed in scrubs. And he was with his wife, and he was a friend of mine. And I really innocently said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't really recognize you with your clothes on." And I meant that I didn't recognize him with regular clothes on. I was used to seeing him in scrubs. And his wife kind of looked at me in disarray, just trying to, grab the concept. And then I recognized what I had done and what I said. And then the deer in the headlights look on his face. And between the three of us, suddenly we all just burst out laughing. And it wound up to be a very great experience. So,
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So maybe street clothes. I didn't recognize you in your street clothes.
yeah,
As you with your clothes on.
yeah, not with their clothes on.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was
The
a
way you
poor
look,
choice
I would,
of words there.
yeah. How funny. How funny. Well, you just kind of have to laugh. You can't, we all have our cringe moments.
And his wife was super cool, and I made a friend, and she made a friend, and we all got a great big laugh out of it. And
Well,
hopefully,
that's good.
somebody in the medical field will recognize that and get a laugh out of it today too, as they're
Hopefully.
for their shift.
Okay.
I'm all about my medical people.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that could have gone really wrong.
Oh yeah.
So this week I saw a post from a account on Instagram called Simple Men Blog, and it's kind of a guide account for Christian men who want to be, whether you believe what you believe about this, but to be a masculine, responsible man who takes his position in a relationship, in a family, in the world seriously and uses the Bible as his guide as to how he feels a man should be.
Hmm.
And I know this time in the world that can be controversial. Like, well, why does a man got to do this and a woman got to do this? But that's a whole nother story. But they had a post about depression and how to handle it from a biblical sense. And I'm not talking about clinical depression where you have a chemical imbalance, which does need to be addressed with medication. I don't know how you, as a medical professional, how you feel about depression medication, if it's overprescribed or.
I think anything can be overprescribed at this point where we're at, but I do believe that depression is real.
Right.
And I feel like there are medications out there that enable people to live a better life. And I'm fully in support of that as well.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. I have been fortunate in my life where I may have downtime, but I've never been diagnosed with clinical depression, so I've never had to take anything for it. But I mean, I have had my down spells. I think they say we're not, I was going to say we're not medical, but we are, you are. Like more than 2 weeks without improvement
Mm-hmm.
may require, I mean, you need to see your doctor regardless. And
Sure.
we are not
Sure.
going to give medical advice, but if I'm talking about when you have a down day or that's a few down days or you're functioning but you're just not exuberant or excited when you wake up in the morning or a particular day, he suggests, and he got this from scripture but has written it out into a conversational form. He suggests 4 things for depression. The first one is to exercise for 30 minutes, even if that's just walking. Try that first. Then clean, fix, or repair something or build something that'll show visible results. Whether that's getting the dishes out of your sink, washing the dishes, or washing the sheets, or maybe going out and getting all the weeds out of the garden bed, or a craft project, or finally hanging that painting that you've had leaning on the wall for so long gives you such a sense of accomplishment that you can see.
Well, yes, I was going to say the visible results of that to your brain speaks, wow, I've actually accomplished something and I can see the benefit of, what I've done. And then that just inspires me. I hope it does everybody else to go do something even better and then better and better.
Mhm.
And just, you kind of keep building on your moment.
Yeah, I'm guilty of having so much I need to do around the house and outside that I feel overwhelmed and I sit down and get on my phone and play a game or something or scroll through Instagram where if I just go do one thing a
Yeah.
day, a small thing, and I just don't think you have to conquer the world today, but when I do that, when I do yoga, and then I'd go and, I don't know, hose off the back porch and get the pollen off. I feel so satisfied that I don't feel guilty when I go sit on the couch and watch TV or something. It's,
And you're truly tired. Your
yes.
body is telling you you're tired because you have exerted that effort.
Hmm.
But totally agreed. In the morning is especially hard as we age to get motivated and have, goodness gracious, just the mental ability, let alone the physical ability to be at work on whatever time it is that we're required to be at work
Yes.
at.
Yes.
And the older that we get, the harder that gets. But, when we can accomplish one thing in the morning that is visible and then move to the next thing that's maybe not too big,
Hmm.
uh, I try to line up what it is that I'm going to try to accomplish. And, some things are big and intricate, whereas some things only really take probably 3 to 5 minutes of my
Yeah.
time.
I know. And I'll finish and I think, I've been dreading that for weeks and it took me 3 minutes to
Not
do
at
that.
all. Yeah, just put it all together, label it, put it away, and be done with it.
Yeah.
And then I see that I visibly made a difference in my life for that day. It's labeled, and I can file it away as done. And
Yeah.
then again, it decreases my stress level.
Hmm. Yeah. And it makes you feel like I have like a feeling of worthlessness. Like I spent a whole other day doing nothing or piddling here and piddling there and didn't complete one task, where if I'd focused on that one thing. Well, no, there's two more. Number three, pray for 30 minutes. I mean, obviously, that would be my number one before I'd even exercise, I think. I would say, Lord, I'm feeling unmotivated today. I'm feeling depressed. Help me either accept that and think this is just not going to be a productive day, or help me inspire me. What should I do? What should I take on today and help me through it?
Totally agreed, Dina. First of all, I have hard enough time getting through the morning. I can't imagine getting through the morning without the Lord
Yeah.
because He's our rock, He's our salvation. And through all things, we know that He is on our side and that we win in the end. Even though today might not look like a good day, but we make it the best day that we can. And we stand up for each other. And when we support each other and encourage and uplift, I truly believe we can make a huge ripple of difference in the world for the betterment of manhood.
Yeah. Yeah, they say a big thing is just a lot of small steps put together.
Yes.
And then finally, number four is do something meaningful for someone else. Even if it's
Amen.
go put, like if you're cleaning your cabinet out, take those I'm never going to eat these canned things. I'm going to go put them in a little food bank, or the little things that are outside churches, the little
Yeah. The little
something.
love boxes.
Yeah. And
I
it's,
do that all the time. I
do
love
you?
that. Yes.
So
Love
that, I
it.
mean, that gives you a great feeling and you're not in your own head thinking about, oh, woe is me, this, that.
Oh my goodness, no. If you're thinking that, you're giving for the wrong reason. I'm sorry to be judgmental on that, but you have to give with a good heart and know that it's going to go to the right person. And you gave that gift, and the perfect person is going to receive that gift and receive a blessing because you were willing to donate or give.
Yeah. And then he says, always remember you are living for Christ and for others.
Hmm.
You have to take care of yourself, obviously, because you're no good to anyone else if you don't do self care.
It's like kind of like the airline stewardesses. They'll tell you when the air mask comes down, put your own mask on, and then help you help your passenger or whatever. Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. But focus more on your life with God and the plight of others, and your life might not seem so bad. I mean, some people certainly have legitimate issues to be sad or grieving or
Sure.
pain if they have pain, that kind of thing. But All right. So try, he says, try those four things. And then if you want to go sit down and be depressed on your couch, do it. But you probably won't want to then, possibly.
Yeah, you're probably almost talked out of it by then.
Yeah. Yeah. And you feel, hey, I got something done. I got something.
My life isn't so bad after all.
Yes. Yes. Especially if you go out and help
Yes,
others that are less fortunate.
that's right. And
Yeah.
meet a new friend along the way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then this is going to be a little deep, possibly, or maybe it'll just be over in a second. I don't know how you feel about this. You and I, I agree. Um, you and I've known each other for 15 years, but there's a lot of things I don't know about you. I'm learning a lot of things about you as we do this podcast.
Hmm.
And and even in religion, I know you're a believer, obviously, and you have faith, but we may have different doctrine that we follow, or maybe we're like, oh, I'll let that go, or no, that I'm very passionate about this point. I have a tendency because I'm kind of a baby Christian in that I've always believed in God, but I'm just now really digging in and inspired and reborn to do this. And I really want to know what the Bible tells me to do. Whereas
Mhm.
some people are like, well, the Bible's a guidebook, it's some stories, but we have to adapt to modern thinking and maybe let that go. And I'm not live and let live on that. So I don't know really where you stand on things, but this situation is an account on Instagram called World.Of.Cacao, which is like chocolate, I guess. Is cacao like a chocolate bean? I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. That's
Well,
the
I
name of
just
her
so you
account.
know, I do like the chocolate kind. So I'll
Chocolate,
take two
you're
scoops
interested.
of chocolate ice cream on a on a cone.
And she is, I've just discovered her. I was just scrolling through and saw a post. I don't follow her, but she is kind of, I call it crunchy. I don't know if you know that term, but it's like granola eating, very into the yoga, the spiritual aspect of yoga, meditating, living in a communal lifestyle, kind of new hippie type of girl. And
Understand?
free will, lives in a van, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She is a God believer, and she's posted this, which was very controversial for her followers, but it says, why I stopped saying, quote, the universe, a shift that changed everything for me. For a long time, I said things like, the universe sent me this. I asked the universe for a sign. I trust the universe, and I meant it, longing to connect with something higher, which I could not quite name. When I look back, I realize I was praying to creation, not to the creator. And creation can only carry us so far. Let me explain. The universe is a creation. The universe was made, it did not create itself. Just like the earth, the trees, the oceans, the mountains, you, me. Planets do not answer prayers. Stars do not heal hearts. The universe is not a being. It does not know your name, but God does. For years, I couldn't say the word God. It felt loaded, distant, religious. I couldn't really relate to the word God. Maybe you feel the same, and I get it. But now I say God because that's who I've come to know. He created us in His image. He walked this earth in human form. He knows what it's like to suffer, to feel, to hope, to love, and He wants your heart. God is not distant, not a vague energy like the universe, not just a force in the sky. God is personal. He knows your name. He created you. He wants relationship. He sees you. He knows you. He loves you. I don't say the word universe anymore because I'm better, because now I know who I'm talking to. It was never the universe, it was God. And now it feels different.
Wow.
Now, have you ever said that, like, oh, the universe brought me this, or, get into horoscopes and all that kind of, because I have done that.
Not. I was never into horoscopes or anything as such. Um, but wow, that's powerful. Really powerful what she said. This is the first time I'm hearing that. Actually, I'm gonna turn it around on you, Miss Cena. What
Okay.
are your thoughts on that?
Well, like I say, I'm guilty of doing that, not in the recent years, but throughout my life, especially if I thought it might offend somebody, if I said the word God, like I'll turn them off to what I'm saying. I'll say, you know,
Right.
God or the universe or whatever brought us together, which is
Right.
it's really denying God and like being embarrassed or ashamed. It's not a good thing to try to keep the peace with somebody by watering down your belief.
Right. Correct.
But a lot of people, I don't do it anymore. I agree with what she's saying, and I make the conscious decision not to say things like that, or fate, or whatever brought us together. I may slip and say it, but I don't mean it like I used to say it. And I'm not uncomfortable saying the word God. But now her followers, because they are following her because she's the granola crunchy yoga spirit girl, some were offended. They were like, I have struggle with saying God the Father because I want the female version of spirituality. I want Mother Earth. Mother Earth, that's another one. Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And some of the people here said, well, I was taught there was a mother and a father, because how can you have a creation without a mother and a father? And how can God have children without a mother and a father? And I resent that it's just, I mean, it really, really got to people. So I think that is a stumbling block for some people when they're trying to learn about Christianity, is the father thing. The patriarchy, which goes on now. But how would you explain that to them? And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. Biblically, how do you say, well, he is a father, he is a quote man? Go ahead. Thoughts?
I can totally identify with all of those thoughts that you just listed. That is an extremely high intellectual understanding that I think also has a spirituality about it that is difficult to understand in the humanness that we have. Meaning, we only have the capacity to know a certain point, and then it's beyond our intelligence at this point. And I believe that God is the Father, Jesus is the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I believe in the three. And to me, all those work together for my good because they love me, they accept me for who I am, and all the failures that I have every single day. There's times where I don't understand why God is so crazy about the human being race.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Because
whoo, I don't know if I can love that person. I know you do, God, but I don't know if I can.
100%, and again, we all have our belief systems that our core is willing to believe and fight for. So God, in His compassion and graciousness and just hope for humanity, I feel like there are times where even God begins to sadden because of the way He looks and He sees humanity is acting. Because really, we should all be lifting each other up. Why are we trying to blow each other up? Why
Mhm.
don't we just work together for good and make everybody happy and live a peaceful life? Is that really too much to ask for? I don't
Apparently.
think so. The older I get, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, what I would say, I guess I thought about it because I read this earlier today. If someone came to me and said, I'd want to learn about God, I believe there is a creator, but I cannot identify with the masculine, maybe I was hurt by my father. Maybe I don't like that term father. Maybe I didn't have a father. Maybe men have done horrible things that have ruined my life. So I need a mother earth. I would say to them, you have to search your heart. And like you said, you cannot really understand the concept of, we're putting that into our little human forms, male, female, that we know.
Yes,
We don't understand the spiritual God, if you want to say God the creator, I guess, if you have a struggle saying father, but I would say to them, I've tried different things through my life, and I've said exactly the same things you're saying to this person. The spirit, the fates, the stars, nature. And I have decided to go all in on God because there's a book, the Bible, a guidebook that tells me these are the truths.
correct.
And I don't understand some of it. Sometimes I read things and I think, well, that is crazy.
Mhm.
Did that really happen, or is that a parable? I mean, I think, and I tell myself, don't sweat the small stuff. You will understand it
No.
all. And
And
I'm
it,
all, you got to be all in to something. Don't be wishy-washy, dip your toe in here, dip your toe. I don't think you're
amen.
going to get anything out of it. So this is what I have chosen.
Right. Take a stand and decide to stand on it. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're a female and you have such struggles with a male authority, quote, male authority as we know men to be, then maybe counseling. I feel like you have some pain in your heart or maybe even some
Mhm.
hate for a whole gender that is not serving you well.
But I'm just going to speak to that for a second, Dina,
Okay.
if you will. I think that God shows up to you in whatever form it is that you need him to be. And I feel like his presence, his love, and his overwhelming sovereignty will just let you know that, again, I call it a he, but it is truly a, for lack of a better word, a spirit. So we really don't need to put a male or a female to God because he is so much more. And we try to put him in a little box, and he just doesn't fit in our little human box.
He made the box, so he's not going to get in the box.
Exactly. And he is there for you 100% all day long, every day long. And again, whatever form it is that you feel comfortable with, speak to that and learn to create a relationship and a lifeline and then grow and research. Um, go to churches, go to retreats, go to things that encourage your learning experience with the Lord, and he will not forsake you.
Okay. Amen. Amen. And I will just add, for me personally, I follow the Bible. I look for my answers there. And maybe they're not what I want to see always or don't align with what a lot of people are saying, but that is my comfort and my guidebook. So,
It's your deadline.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, I enjoyed that conversation, Diana. I'd love to hear from our listeners what they have to say. It's like I say, it's kind of controversial when you get into the father figure thing for some people.
And
Um,
that is, I want to speak to that too, because that's really unfortunate. And I'm sad for people who their father figure has been smeared a little bit. And that is, I hope that we're on the upside of that and that we see decline and that the male figure shows up and takes care of their young
yeah.
and doesn't doesn't do any harm.
Right. And tell yourself too, if you didn't have a father in your life or it was abusive or whatever the situation was, or men in your life have hurt you, God is not a mortal man with sins and flaws. So
Correct.
remember that. It's,
His ways are above our
yeah,
ways.
exactly. So, okay, we want to save time for your final thoughts for today, Diana. Do you have something for us?
You want me to do a devotional?
Please.
You do. I kind of figured you might. So I'm going to tell you guys some little things about the beauty of a woman. And did you
Oh, that's
know?
interesting compared considering what we just talked about.
I know, that's right. It's amazing how that's right on point. Do you know, Dina, that there are 3 billion women who do not look like supermodels and only 8 that do?
No, I didn't know that.
Do the math. We talked about, I'm pretty good with math.
Uh-huh.
So do the math on that, and you'll recognize that a lot of people try to look like people that are portrayed as perfect, but
Hmm.
they're not perfect. They're airbrushed and they're in magazines. And just keep in mind that, again, 3 billion women don't look like supermodels,
Okay. 3
but
billion is one. I'm one.
only to 8. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, did you know, Dina, that Marilyn Monroe wore a size 14?
Oh, no, it did not.
I love when I have something on you.
Well, that's good. That does make me feel better.
Okay, yes, so moving on. If Barbie was a real woman, she'd probably have to walk on all fours due to her proportions.
She'd be too weak to stand up.
Correct.
Well, she does have those pointy feet without her heels don't touch the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what they're referencing. Dina, did you know that the average woman weighs between 144 and 155 pounds and weighs an average of the size 12 to 14?
Ah, just like Marilyn. No, I did not know that. I figured it was like a six.
No, not a six, sweet girl.
Good.
But one out of four of our college age women have an eating disorder. One
Oh,
out of four.
wow.
That disturbs me.
Hmm.
I want our girls to know and to be comfortable in their own skin. And again, we have to preach health and wellness and a conservative type of diet, eating clean, but we cannot shame our people into trying to weigh a size two when the average is 10 to 12.
True.
Let me tell you what the beauty of a woman is. The beauty of a woman must be seen from her own eyes because that is the doorway to her heart, the place where love resides. The true beauty in a woman is reflected in her soul. It is the caring that she lovingly gives and the passion that she shows. The beauty of a woman with passing years only grows. So, to all of our listeners today, learn to love yourself for who you are. Always strive to be better. Push yourself to the boundaries that you never knew you could achieve. And make the world a better place. That's a great thing for all of us. So, the beauty of a woman, but also the beauty of a man and mankind, is if we all pull together and we do our part and we love each other and we connect in a way that we've never ever done before. I'm Diana. I hope you have a great week. We love you. Bye bye.